My friends, I want you to take a second and think about this. Inside your body right now, there is a silent hero, a warrior working tirelessly 24/7, performing over 500 different tasks, from turning that piece of cake you ate into fuel for your brain to neutralizing dangerous toxins you might have accidentally breathed in. This hero is so resilient that even if it's damaged by up to 75%, it can miraculously regenerate itself, like a phoenix rising from the ashes. But here's the tragic irony. This great hero is the ultimate stoic. It has no pain-sensing nerves. It never screams and never complains when it's tired or overloaded. It just quietly carries the burden, silently enduring until it's on the brink of collapse. And by the time the first signs appear, by the time we finally start to feel its pain, it's often too late. Have you guessed who this hero is? It's not the heart, nor is it the brain we so often praise. It's your liver. In today's video, we're going to explore a book that I truly believe every single one of us should read at least once in our lifetime. A book that could completely change the way you see your health and how you treat your own body. The book was written by France and may be translated into English as The Hidden Powers of Your Liver by Dr. Gabriel Perlemuter, a leading PhD and physician in gastroenterology and hepatology in France. He isn't just a brilliant doctor. He's a researcher and a respected university lecturer. And what he writes in this book isn't just theory. It's the culmination of decades of experience treating thousands of patients. This book refers to the liver as our third brain, right after our central brain and our digestive system, the second brain. Why such a significant comparison? How are we all unintentionally abusing this hero every single day? And most importantly, how can we listen to, understand, and care for this brain to live longer, healthier, and more vibrant lives? So go ahead, pour yourself a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's begin this incredible journey to uncover the amazing secrets hidden within your liver. I promise you, after this video, you will look at your body in a completely different light. All right, let's dive in. To understand why we need to cherish our liver, we first have to be truly amazed by its magic. Dr. Perlemuter doesn't describe the liver as just an organ. He paints a picture of it as a complex superfactory, a miniature industrial city tucked away in your abdomen. A factory that never takes a day off. A factory where the word strike doesn't exist. Imagine this. This factory is situated in the most strategic location possible, right between the digestive tract, where raw materials come in, and the heart, the central pump that distributes products throughout the body. Everything we eat, drink, and breathe, in one way or another, must pass through the security checkpoint of the liver factory. So what assembly lines does this factory run? Assembly line number 1, the sophisticated food processor. When you eat a meal, let's say a lunch with some chicken, stir-fried vegetables, and a bowl of white rice, that food doesn't just go straight to your cells to nourish your body. No, it arrives as raw material and needs to be processed. For the bowl of white rice, starch to sugar. When the sugar from the rice enters your bloodstream and flows to the liver through a special highway called the portal vein, the liver's best friend, the pancreas, immediately notices. The pancreas is like a diligent supervisor. Seeing a lot of sugar coming in, it instantly calls the liver using a chemical signal named insulin. Upon receiving this signal, the liver understands, okay, there's a bit too much sugar coming in. If I let it all out, it will cause a flood, high blood sugar, which is dangerous for the whole system. So the liver quickly gathers the excess sugar, packages it into neat little sacks of rice called glycogen, and stores them in its warehouse. You see, this seamless coordination keeps our blood sugar stable. And here's our first aha moment. Diabetes occurs when this communication and coordination between the pancreas and the liver breaks down. For the stir-fried vegetables, fat. The oil from the stir-fry doesn't dissolve in water, so how can the body absorb it? The liver has a secret weapon, bile. The liver produces bile, then concentrates and stores it in a small pouch called the gallbladder. When you eat fat, the liver releases bile into the intestines. Bile works exactly like your dish soap at home. It breaks down large fat globules into millions of tiny droplets, making them easy for the body to absorb. Without bile, you'd feel incredibly bloated and unwell after eating a greasy meal. For the piece of chicken, proteins are long, complex chains. Once again, the pancreas helps out by sending enzyme workers to the gut to chop these long protein chains into the most basic building blocks called amino acids. These blocks are then transported to the liver factory. Here, the liver, as the master architect, decides this block will be used to build muscle, this one to create hormones, this one to produce enzymes for the factory itself. The liver determines the fate of every single protein building block you consume. Do you see? The liver isn't just a filter. It's a genius chemist, a master chef, transforming everything you eat into the precise nutrients needed for every cell in your body. Assembly line number 2, the master warehouse manager. A good factory doesn't just produce, it knows how to store. And the liver is the body's smartest energy warehouse. The sugar warehouse. As we mentioned, the liver stores sugar as glycogen. When you get hungry, say in the middle of the morning, and your blood sugar starts to drop, the liver automatically opens its warehouse, takes out those glycogen sacs, converts them back into sugar, and releases it slowly into the blood to fuel your brain and body. That's why you can still function for a while even without eating. That gnawing hunger you feel will often subside after about 30 minutes. That's the moment your liver has successfully completed its warehouse delivery. The fat warehouse in the story of cholesterol. This was one of the most eye-opening parts of the book for me. We're often told that cholesterol is bad, that it's the enemy of our hearts. But the truth, according to Dr. Perlemuter, is far more complex and fascinating. Over 80% of the cholesterol in your body is made by your liver, not from the food you eat. Imagine the liver producing packages of cholesterol and sending them all over the body to build cell membranes, produce hormones, and more. These packages are transported by a type of delivery truck called LDL. After making their deliveries, these empty LDL trucks wander around in your bloodstream. If there are too many of them and they get oxidized, they can cause traffic jams and build up as plaque. This is the bad LDL cholesterol we hear about. And here comes the second aha moment. The liver doesn't create a problem without a solution. It also produces a special team of garbage trucks called HDL. This HDL team travels through your blood vessels, collecting the old, broken-down LDL trucks and excess cholesterol, and carries them back to the liver factory for recycling or disposal. This is the good HDL cholesterol. So when do heart problems occur? When the fleet of LDL delivery trucks is overwhelming, while the HDL cleanup crew is understaffed. This imbalance is the real culprit. And who decides on the production and dispatch of both of these fleets? Once again, it's the liver. Taking care of your liver is the absolute best way to keep your body's transportation system running smoothly. Assembly line number 3, the ultimate waste management and detox plant. Any factory produces waste, and the liver factory is no exception. But it is also the most efficient waste treatment plant imaginable. Handling ammonia. When the liver processes protein, a very toxic waste product called ammonia is created. If ammonia builds up, it can travel to the brain and cause severe neurological damage, even a coma. The liver instantly converts this toxic ammonia into a much less harmful substance called urea, then sends it over to its neighbor, the kidneys, to be flushed out in your urine. A perfect detoxification process, fighting free radicals. As they work, our body's cells produce free radicals. Think of them as toxic sparks that can burn and cause other cells to rust, leading to aging and cancer. The liver is equipped with a powerful army of firefighters, which are natural antioxidants like glutathione, to extinguish these sparks the moment they appear. A weak liver means a weak fire department, and your body faces a much higher risk of a fire. The ultimate filter. The liver also acts as an incredibly sensitive security guard for your bloodstream. Any foreign substance, from bacteria that slip through the gut lining to chemicals from pesticides, food additives, or even the components of the medicine you take, is stopped, identified, and neutralized by the liver. It's like a high-tech water purifier, ensuring that the blood flowing to the rest of your body is always clean and safe. It's truly astonishing, isn't it? Our liver is a real superhero. It silently performs all these complex tasks without ever asking for a word of praise. Hippocrates, the father of medicine, once said, "Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food." This saying has never been more true than when applied to the liver. What we put into our mouths determines whether our liver factory runs smoothly or struggles under an overwhelming load. And its very silence is a double-edged sword. Because it doesn't cry out, we easily ignore it. We easily forget. We just assume it will be fine. But the truth is, every day, many of us are unintentionally pushing this hero to the brink of exhaustion. So, what have we been doing to our own livers? Let's move on to the next section to confront a truth that might just startle you. The writer Haruki Murakami once wrote, "Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional." Our liver has no option but to suffer the pain we inflict upon it. And most of that suffering comes from habits we consider harmless. Mistake number 1, the daily disaster of junk food and eating habits. Dr. Perlemuter uses a powerful image. It seems we are all like ostriches, with our heads in the sand, believing that bad things only happen to other people, not to us. We know fast food is bad, but we eat it anyway. We know eating late is harmful, but we can't resist. Let's be honest with each other for a moment. How many times have you felt a little hungry at 10 a.m. or 4 p.m. and immediately reached for a pastry or a sugary drink? Did you know that at that very moment, your liver was preparing to open its sugar warehouse to rescue you? If you had just waited a little longer, the hunger would have passed. But no, we load up on more sugar and fat. The liver then has to go into trouble with cleaning up and packaging this excess energy. Where can it go? The sugar warehouse is already nearly full, so the liver has no choice but to convert it into fat and stuff it into its own cells. This is the beginning of a silent tragedy called fatty liver disease. It's like a room that slowly, day by day, gets filled with trash. At first, it's just a little messy. You don't notice. Your liver begins to swell quietly. But when the fatty trash takes up 30% of its volume, the liver cells start to suffocate. They get tired and inflamed, and then they die. The liver still tries to regenerate new cells. But if you keep dumping trash on it for 10 or 20 years, its ability to regenerate will be exhausted. The space once occupied by healthy cells gets replaced by inert, hard scar tissue. This process is called fibrosis. When your liver becomes a hard block of scar tissue, it's called cirrhosis. And from cirrhosis, it's just a short step to liver cancer. The scariest part is that this entire process happens in silence. The only thing you might feel at first is a slight heaviness or discomfort in your upper right abdomen. a feeling that most of us would simply ignore. I was scrolling through some international book forums, and many readers shared that the chapter on fatty liver was a real wake-up call. One person wrote, "I always thought fatty liver was something only alcoholics got. I don't drink, but I love sweets. After reading this book, I realized I was destroying my own liver with my innocent-looking donuts." Mistake number 2. Alcohol, public enemy number 1. If sugary and fatty foods are the hidden enemy, alcohol is the public enemy, a cold-blooded assassin for the liver. Every glass of alcohol you drink is treated as a dose of poison that your liver must struggle to process. The detoxification process creates extremely toxic substances that directly attack and kill liver cells. A wound that heals leaves a scar. A liver cell that dies also leaves scar tissue. The more you drink, the more scars your liver accumulates, and the harder and more fibrous it becomes. A tragic story the author recounts is about people who have passed out or even died after a session of all-out binge drinking. Why? Because when a massive amount of alcohol is dumped in all at once, the liver factory is overwhelmed and completely paralyzed. It goes on strike, stopping the production and release of sugar into the blood. The brain, the organ that needs sugar the most, suffers a sudden power outage. This acute hypoglycemic episode can knock a healthy person out instantly. Mistake number 3. The casual use of medication. We live in an age where buying and using painkillers and antibiotics has become far too easy. A slight headache, a paracetamol. A little cough, a few antibiotics. We are unaware that almost every drug is a burden on the liver. Abusing them, especially painkillers containing acetaminophen, is one of the leading causes of acute liver failure worldwide. Antibiotics have a double negative effect. They not only burden the liver, but also kill the beneficial bacteria in our gut, damaging our protective barrier. When this barrier becomes leaky, toxins and bad bacteria can easily enter the bloodstream, creating an even greater burden for an already tired liver. The story of the liver is not just the story of one organ. It's a story of connection. It's about how one small decision, eating one more cookie, drinking one more beer, taking one unprescribed pill, can create ripples that affect the entire body. But how do we know when our hero is truly calling for help? How do we listen to its whispers before they turn into screams? In the next section, we'll learn how to become more attuned listeners of our own bodies. The author shares that most of his patients are shocked when they receive their diagnosis. They often say, "But doctor, I felt completely fine." The liver's silence is its greatest danger. However, it's not completely silent. It does send out signals, subtle whispers. The question is whether we are mindful and sensitive enough to notice them. Here are a few of those whispers that you should pay close attention to. 1. Constant unexplained fatigue. This is the most common sign, but also the easiest to ignore. Do you often feel drained and exhausted even after a full night's sleep? A feeling like your body is carrying a heavy weight with no energy to do anything. We often blame it on a stressful job or a busy life. But it could very well be the first cry for help from an overworked liver. When the liver weakens, it can't efficiently metabolize energy and eliminate toxins, leaving the entire body in a state of low battery. 2. A feeling of heaviness or dull ache in the upper right abdomen. This is exactly where your liver is located. This feeling isn't a sharp pain, but rather a persistent, dull discomfort. It's a sign that the liver has started to swell due to fat accumulation or inflammation and is pressing against its outer capsule. Never ignore this feeling, especially if you are overweight. 3. Itchy skin with no obvious cause. When the liver's ability to process bile is impaired, bile acids can build up in the blood and get deposited under the skin, causing an intense internal itch. This isn't like a mosquito bite or a typical allergy. It's persistent and can make you want to scratch yourself raw. 4. Bruising and bleeding easily. Have you noticed that even a light bump leaves a large bruise lately? Or do your gums bleed easily when you brush your teeth? The liver is responsible for producing the proteins necessary for blood clotting. When the liver is weak, this process falters. Your body becomes like a car with faulty brakes. It's difficult to stop bleeding. 5. Changes in your skin and nails. These are more visible signs. Yellowing of the skin and eyes. Jaundice, a classic sign of serious liver disease. Red palms, palmar erythema, caused by hormonal changes that the liver can no longer properly metabolize. O. White nails. The crescent-shaped area at the base of the nail becomes abnormally large. Urine that is dark like strong tea, while stools are pale like clay. Unusual acne breakouts, especially in adults. Listening to your body is an art. It requires stillness and attention. Instead of quickly concluding it's probably nothing, see these signs as letters your body is sending you. Read them, understand them, and take action. And the good news is, as we said at the beginning, the liver is a phoenix. It has a phenomenal capacity for self-healing. As long as we stop attacking it and start giving it the right raw materials, it can make a spectacular recovery. So, what is the most effective medicine for the liver? Dr. Perlemuter's answer is simple and might surprise many. It's not found in any magic pill. It's found right on your dinner plate every single day. Let's explore the path to liver recovery in the final part of our video today. The philosopher Jim Rohn famously said, "Take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live." And the key to caring for your liver, according to the author, lies in changing your lifestyle and diet. This isn't about a harsh, restrictive diet. It's about making wise and sustainable choices. Golden rule number 1. Say goodbye to junk food. Convenience foods like pizza, fried chicken, French fries, instant noodles, sausages, and industrial pastries are a nightmare for your liver. They are loaded with refined sugar, trans fats, salt, and countless additives and preservatives. Your liver has to work overtime to process this garbage dump. The author's own research showed that just a few days of eating this way can cause your liver enzymes to spike. But this doesn't mean you can never touch them again. If you truly love a certain food, allow yourself to enjoy it mindfully, perhaps once a week and in a small portion. As you gradually build healthier eating habits, you'll find that your craving for these foods naturally diminishes. Golden rule number 2. Quality over quantity. This is a mindset shift. Instead of eating a lot to feel full, eat just enough, but with high-quality foods. On protein, you don't need as much protein as you might think. The author recommends about 150 to 200 grams, about 5 to 7 ounces of fish or poultry per day. For red meat, limit it to a maximum of 300 grams, about 10 ounces per week. Plant-based proteins from beans and legumes are also excellent choices. On fat, choose your friends wisely. The liver's best friends are omega-3 and omega-9 fats. They are abundant in cold-pressed olive oil, avocados, nuts, and fatty fish like salmon and herring. Add a spoonful of olive oil to your salad. It's a wonderful gift for your liver. On sugar and carbs, this is the enemy that needs the tightest control. Prioritize slow-releasing, high-fiber carbs like brown rice, oats, sweet potatoes, and quinoa. One extremely important point the author stresses is to stay away from artificial sweeteners, aspartame, sucralose. They are marketed as zero-calorie, but they can destroy your gut microbiome and be just as toxic to the liver as real sugar. Golden rule number 3. Nurture your second brain to protect your third brain. This is perhaps the most groundbreaking and exciting discovery in health in recent years. It's the intimate connection between your gut and your liver, also known as the gut-liver axis. The author participated in a classic study. They took gut bacteria from 2 groups of alcoholic patients, one group whose livers were still relatively healthy, and another whose livers were severely damaged. They then transplanted these 2 types of bacteria into 2 groups of healthy mice living in a sterile environment and gave them all the same amount of alcohol. The results were astonishing. The group of mice that received bacteria from the people with healthy livers remained perfectly fine. Meanwhile, the group that received bacteria from the people with damaged livers immediately developed severe liver disease. And here is our final aha moment. This proves that the fate of your liver depends not only on what you drink, but also on the army of microorganisms living in your gut. A healthy gut microbiome creates a strong barrier, preventing toxins from entering the bloodstream and reducing the burden on your liver. So how do you nurture this army? Their favorite food is fiber, from vegetables and fruits. Turn your plate into a colorful garden: broccoli, spinach, carrots, bell peppers. Supplement with probiotics, live beneficial bacteria, from plain yogurt, kefir, and fermented foods like kimchi and sauerkraut. Supplement with prebiotics, food for the good bacteria, from garlic, onions, bananas, asparagus, and artichokes. By taking care of your gut, you are building a strong, distant line of defense for your liver. My dear friends, we have come to the end of our long journey exploring the secrets within our liver, our body's silent hero. Through his book, Dr. Gabriel Perlemuter has given us not just knowledge, but a more precious gift, a deep understanding and love for our own bodies. Our liver, calm, patient, and incredibly forgiving, doesn't ask for much. It just asks us to slow down a little, to choose a little more wisely, and to listen a little more closely. It doesn't need expensive medicines. It needs meals full of green vegetables. It doesn't need empty promises. It needs us to pass on that extra glass of beer, to skip that extra slice of cake. Health is not a destination, it's a journey. And on that journey, your liver is your most loyal and resilient companion. Don't wait until that friend collapses to realize their worth. Start taking care of your liver today, starting with your very next meal. I hope that today's insights from BookSmart Insights have given you a wealth of useful information and a spark of inspiration to live a healthier life. What was your biggest takeaway from this video? Was there a discovery that gave you an aha moment? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. Our conversation will help spread this valuable knowledge to even more people. And if you love content like this about personal growth through books, don't forget to give this video a like to show your support. Share it with the people you love, and most importantly, hit that subscribe button for BookSmart Insights and ring the notification bell so you never miss a future video. Thank you so much for listening. I wish you health, peace, and abundant energy. Goodbye for now, and I'll see you in the next video.